On News Hour tonight, 18 killed, 2 critically injured in Jigawa fatal accident. President Tinubu insists new tax laws to take effect on January 1st, 2026. Kano commuters frustrated as motor park operators raise prices ahead of New Year. And on the foreign scene, Junta Chief Dumboya takes early lead in Guinea election. Hello and welcome to News Hour on Trust TV. I am Mariam Idris. Now, a tragic road accident has claimed the lives of 18 people, including adults and children, in Dammasara town, Dutse local government area of Jigawa State on Tuesday. 2 others are reported to be in a critical condition. The crash occurred around 12:15 p.m. along the Dutse Huguma road and involved 3 vehicles, a white Volkswagen Golf, a red Volkswagen Golf, and an orange Mercedes-Benz tipper truck. According to the Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSC, the FRSC reported receiving the distress call at 12:17 p.m. with rescue teams arriving within 6 minutes at 12:23 p.m. Now, preliminary investigations indicated the collision was caused by overspeeding, a tire burst, and loss of vehicle control. Rescue teams quickly evacuated the injured and deceased to the General Hospital Dutse for treatment and documentation. Public Education Officer of the FRSC, Jigawa, CRC, Y.I. Yahaya, urged motorists to adhere strictly to traffic rules, maintain their vehicles, and avoid excessive speed to prevent further tragedies on the state's road. Now, joining us to give us more updates on the Jigawa accident is Trust TV's Ali Rabiu Ali from the state. Thank you for joining in, Ali.
Hello, good evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, could you provide us with an update on the accident, and specifically, can you confirm the exact number of fatalities and injured, as well as the current condition of the 2 critically injured victims?
Actually, today it was morning in Dutse and Jigawa where the victims come from. The victims come to Dutse for a wedding ceremony. These people that lost their lives were women, children, and some men. And what happened was, incidentally, when the truck took on the left side of the road, going further to go and just turn around the place where they want to drop the sand and fetch the pump. So unfortunately, the 2 guns are coming on speed. They lost control. So this is what happened. And actually, if you see the scene of the place, it was so damaged. And none of them were recognized. The heads of the children was cut off and found in the bush. The liver, the intestine, everything was in pieces. The truck turned at some assaulted and turned around the tipper truck. This signifies the heavy hit of the 2 gold cars that affect the truck. The truck and the 2 gold were damaged to pieces, involving over 23 people within the truck. And these people, the remaining 2 people, they were in critical condition beyond recognition. Hopefully, if they made it, we thank God. But actually, some people have found that they may not make it, but it's God.
Okay, additionally, were there any... Okay, go ahead.
Yes, I was trying to contact relatives of these people didn't talk because they were in mourning, crying, just like you. Before I wanted to interview them on how they feel and what's happening there. Actually, it's critical. And there is another recent accident in Jigawa. Again, the update is not available now, but tomorrow morning we have the update. And I had that about 16 people died.
Okay, were there any Okay, Ali Rabiu Ali, were there any survivors who witnessed the accident? And if so, have they shared the account of what happened?
Yeah, actually, it's part of what I told you earlier that the girls were in speed at least. They wanted to rush where they wanted to go. Unfortunately, they were not aware that this people is coming from their side because the place is just so the truck is taking the other left side, which is not their hand. So this is what happened. When they realize that the truck is coming towards them, so they cannot even control their
all right. All right, Ali Rabiu Ali, thank you for the update.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Moving on, Gombe stood still in grief as journalists who lost their lives in a fatal auto crash along the Gombe-Yola road were finally laid to rest. Funeral prayers for the 7 journalists were held in Gombe amid tears and tributes from colleagues, family members, and well-wishers. The report.
The burial ceremony drew a large turnout, including the governor of Gombe State, Muhammadu Inwe-Haya, leadership of the Nigeria Union of Journalists, NUJ, officials of the TAU, as well as friends and relatives of the deceased. Leaders of the NUJ described the deceased as committed and hardworking journalists whose contributions to the profession will not be forgotten.
Some of them are like my personal staff, even in the government house. So I feel it, and but there's nothing we can do. It's the will of God, and it is their time. They have to answer the call of God. And as people of faith, we believe that it's God that gives and it's God that takes. We only pray that Almighty Allah will grant them eternal rest and that He grants them Al-Jannah Firdaus. And we pray that for those that are at least in the hospital, we found that they have stabilized them and they are responding to treatment.
There are those that we believe they have paid their dues, those that we believe they have given their own little contribution towards taking this profession to a greater height. I want with this opportunity to thank them and thank all of us for working together, and I believe they will be remembered as those that have given their own the best for this profession in Nigeria.
Friends and colleagues spoke about the lives of the departed, remembering them as humble, passionate, and devoted to their work.
This is a great loss indeed. We really miss them, and we can't question God. This is the will of God. We just pray that may He comfort the family of the deceased to bear the irreparable loss.
We are praying God Almighty to comfort their family, to comfort all of us for this irreparable loss.
I can describe him as a younger brother. Since childhood we were together. We school together during secondary school. A very intelligent person, hardworking, and a very good neighbor that we have lived together for over 30 years.
Here in Gombe, emotions remain high as colleagues and family and friends bid a final farewell for a journalist who paid ultimate price in a ghastly motor accident. Beyond emotion and prayers, their legacy of fairness and professionalism will live on.
As prayers continue for the peaceful repose of their souls, the journalism community in Gombe has pledged to honor the memories of the fallen by upholding the principles of truth, fairness, and ethical reporting, ensuring that their legacy endures in the profession. Hassan Lawan Koli, Trust TV News, Gombe.
President Bola Tinubu has confirmed that the implementation of Nigeria's new tax law will commence as scheduled on January 1st, 2026. In a statement personally signed on Tuesday, Tinubu cited the reforms, including the laws that came into effect on June 26, 2025, and those set for January 1st, 2026, will proceed as planned. The president described the measures as a once-in-a-generation opportunity to establish a fair, competitive, and robust fiscal framework for the country. He stressed that the new tax laws are not intended to increase taxes, but to support structural reforms, harmonization, and protection of citizens' dignity while strengthening the social contract. Addressing public concerns over alleged changes to some provisions, Tinubu said no significant issues have been identified that will justify delaying the reforms. He reassured Nigerians of the administration's commitment to due process and pledged close collaboration with the National Assembly to resolve any issues promptly. The president affirmed that the federal government remains focused on ensuring a tax system that promotes shared responsibility, economic growth, and national prosperity. No fewer than 8 people have been killed following coordinated attacks by gunmen on Kaiwa, Yelawu, and Gebe villages in Shanga local government area of Kebbi State, sparking panic and mass displacement of residents. The attack occurred amid a surge in violent incidents across the northwest. A gunman also abducted 16 women and killed 2 persons in Zamfara State on the same day. This comes as bandits demanded a 500 million ransom for the release of 5 road construction workers kidnapped in Kwara State on December 15th. The renewed violence is unfolding just days after United States security forces carried out airstrikes on terrorist enclaves in parts of Sokoto State. Local sources in Kebbi State said the attackers stormed the affected communities without warning, firing sporadically and creating fear and confusion. The assault, described as one of the deadliest in the area in recent years, forced many residents to flee their homes in search of safety. Confirming the incident, the spokesman of the Kebbi State Police Command, SP Bashir Usman, said 7 people died on the spot, while another victim later succumbed to injuries while receiving treatment. He added that 1 injured person is currently responding to medical care. Now, in a related development in Zamfara State, gunmen believed to be bandits abducted 16 women, killed 2 residents, and injured several others during an attack on Sabalai village in Wanke district of Gusau local government area. And no fewer than 3 persons have been killed, while 3 others were abducted, following a fresh late-night attack by suspected bandits on Bundukahugu community in Lere, local government area of Kaduna State. The attack, which occurred at about 11 p.m. on Monday, December 29, 2025, plunged the community into mourning and renewed calls for stronger security presence in the area. Confirming the incident on Tuesday, the National Secretary of Bundu Kahugu Community, Ishaya Dauda, said the attackers invaded the village under the cover of darkness, firing sporadically and causing panic among residents. Dauda disclosed that the community had suffered a similar attack barely 2 weeks earlier, during which 4 people were killed, raising serious concerns over the recurring assault and the vulnerability of the area. The victims killed in the latest attack were identified as Felix Augustine, Luka Yakubu, and Ezra Namata, while 3 other residents were taken away by the assailants to an unknown destination. Residents have appealed to the Kaduna State government and security agencies to urgently deploy military personnel to the community to prevent further attacks. The Nigerian Air Force, NAF, has carried out 2 precision airstrikes on bandit hideouts in Safe local government area of Zamfara State. The operations, conducted under the air component of Operation Fansan Yamma, Sector 2, targeted Turba Hill and a camp linked to the bandit leader Kachalla Dogo Sili. According to the Air Commodore Ehimen Ejodame, NAF Director of Public Relations and Information, the strikes followed credible multi-source intelligence on bandit activities in the area. The first strike at Turba Hill destroyed a confirmed bandit hideout, while the second targeted Dogo Sule's camp, known for the manufacture of improvised explosive devices and attacks along the Dansado-Magami axis. The raids destroyed active structures and triggered fires within the camp. Ejodame noted that several bandits were killed during the operations, though no specific casualty figures were provided. Zamfara State remains a hotspot of banditry in northwest Nigeria, with armed groups responsible for kidnappings, attacks on communities, and disruption of farming activities. 2 people were killed and 3 others critically injured in a violent clash between security forces and youth at Sabuwar Ungwa quarters in Katsina metropolis on Friday. The incident began when police raided a hideout in the area, arresting a suspected drug peddler, Uzairu, also known as Kuda, who was found in possession of illicit drugs and a dangerous weapon. Kuda resisted arrest, raising an alarm that attracted his associates. The youth attacked the police team, damaging a vehicle and injuring a police officer. Trust TV's Abdullahi Yamadi examines the factors behind the lingering miscreant crisis and why it has persisted for decades in Katsina City. His report.
During the scuffle, Kuda allegedly attempted to disarm a police officer. He was shot and later died at a hospital. The situation escalated further during Kuda's funeral on Saturday, when suspected miscreants locally known as Kaurai allegedly burned an NSCDC outpost and attempted to torch a police outpost. Stray bullets reportedly struck 2 people, killing one and injuring another, who is currently receiving treatment at a Katsina hospital. Residents of Sabor Ungwa Gadarneli, Canada quarters, and parts of Sabor Ungwa near the primary school described the incident as worrisome, highlighting its impact on societal development. Sabor Ungwa is among the most notorious areas affected by the activities of local miscreants over the last 2 decades. Residents accused authorities of negligence, saying it has subjected them to constant fear and hardship. It could be recalled that this is the 3rd clash in 3 years between security personnel and Kaurai, resulting in multiple deaths, including that of Jawad Ahmad, an Islamia school pupil, during a similar confrontation at Canada quarters. Many residents cited a lack of professionalism by security agencies as a key factor fueling the crisis, which often leads to the death of innocent people. They also blamed politicians and the judiciary for allowing miscreants' activities to continue unchecked, noting that the hoodlums often have political godfathers and are frequently released without proper prosecution. We are deeply worried about the current crisis. We appeal to the government to take proactive measures against the hoodlums terrorizing our community. This situation reflects moral decay and lack of proper upbringing. Many youth run shops as a cover, but are involved in drugs and other crimes. The crisis has been badly managed by security agencies. Allowing it to linger for years is serious. Most miscreants deal in drugs and terrorize innocent residents. If the government were serious, these miscreants would have been dealt with. The failure lies with security agencies, parents, and society. Arrests are made, but the boys return within days. Currently, security operatives are intensifying patrols in the area to maintain law and order. Residents are calling on Governor Diko Umar Radda to take decisive action against the hoodlums before the situation escalates into a major security concern. The police public relations officer DSP Sadiq Aliu said the command has launched a thorough investigation to ascertain the facts surrounding the crisis. The police also appealed for calm, urging the public to cooperate and support the command as the investigation proceeds. The violent clashes in Sabor Ungwa underscore long-standing security and societal challenges in Katsina.
The police public relation has to be increased in Katsina State and in Katsina Metropolis in particular. The relationship between the police in particular and the community is not that cordial as it used to be, and particularly the youth. There's need for the police to engage the youth here in Katsina Metropolis, to get them engaged, to get them, to activate and try to promote a good relationship between them and understanding between them and the youth.
Residents are calling for urgent action from authorities, insisting that sustained intervention is necessary to restore peace, protect lives, and address the root causes of the miscreants' menace. Abdullahi Izumayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
Troops of the Nigerian Army's 6th Division have arrested 19 suspected oil thieves, destroyed 22 illegal refineries, and recovered about 180,000 liters of stolen petroleum products, valued at approximately 150 million naira across the Niger Delta. The operations, which lasted nearly a month, were conducted in 4 states in collaboration with other security agencies. The acting Deputy Director of 6th Division, Army Public Relations, Lieutenant Colonel Jonah Danjuma, disclosed the achievements in a statement issued in Port Harcourt on Monday. According to Danjuma, the operations targeted oil theft, pipeline vandalism, and other related crimes, adding that troops will continue to dominate the operational environment to deny criminal elements freedom of action in the region. The General Officer commanding 6th Division, Major General Emmanuel Emeka, commended the troops for their efforts and urged them to sustain operations against economic saboteurs. He also called on residents to support the ongoing crackdown on criminal networks, sabotaging critical national infrastructure in the oil region. Now, in a significant move in Nigeria's anti-corruption drive, a federal high court in Abuja has ordered the remand of former Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, SAN, his son Abubakar Abdulaziz Malami, and associate Asabe Bashir. The trio faces allegations of money laundering involving over 1.14 billion naira in illicit funds and luxury property acquisitions valued at 212.8 billion naira across Abuja, Kebbi, Kano, and other locations. Justice Emeka Nwite delivered the ruling on Tuesday following the arraignment on a 16-count charge filed by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. The defendants, who pleaded not guilty, were denied oral bail after the court noted that a written bail application was served late to the prosecution. EFCC counsel Ekele Iheanacho, SAN, requested time to respond, leading the court to adjourn the hearing to January 2nd, 2026 for bail determination. The case underscores the EFCC's ongoing efforts to tackle financial crimes, involving high-profile officials.
The matter came up today for arraignment of the defendant in respect of a 16-count charge bordering on alleged offences committed under the Money Laundering Act. The defendants pleaded guilty, not guilty to all the counts, and afterwards an oral application for bail was made by the defense, mainly on the ground that the alleged offences are offences that are bailable, and that the defendants do not in any way constitute a flight risk, and that in the circumstance the court should exercise its discretion in admitting them to bail.
As 2026 draws closer, Nigerians' disenchanted population is speaking plainly. People say patience is thin, trust is low, and daily life keeps getting harder. From food prices to safety on the streets, citizens want action, not talk. Trust TV's Noel Sampson reports on the demands shaping expectations for the year ahead.
With 2026 around the corner, many Nigerians say government must return to basics and focus how people live, eat, work, and stay safe. The economy tops the list. Citizens want prices to stop jumping overnight. They want a stronger naira and relief from rising food and fuel costs that have pushed many households to the edge. Security remains a sore point. In many communities, fear has become normal. Residents want safer roads, safer homes, better trained security forces, and an end to kidnappings and attacks. Jobs, especially for young people, also dominate public concerns. Nigerians say they need work that pays, support for small businesses, and skills that match today's economy. Power supply and infrastructure still matter. People say steady electricity would help small businesses survive, cut costs, and put money back in their pockets.
Let government to try to cope to work everything to make life to be easy for Nigerians, because things are very going high now. I know everybody know the economy of this country it will depend on fuel. If fuel increase, everything will jack up, because everything is run by the transport. So let government to try and bring the fuel price to come down.
Food stuff, cost of transportation, also insecurity, because we've had stories of kidnapping here and there in schools. So government should also look into insecurity, put more effort on securing our schools, so that parents will have rest of mind whenever their children are going to school.
They're killing human beings like a fowl in Nigeria, and it's very bad. You're not giving us your human being. Nobody knows who will die tomorrow. You don't know whether your brother or me and another person. And when a human being kill each other, I don't know how people feel. So I want the government to focus on the issue of killing. Stop killing. You see, we can manage ourselves with other things, you see. But when somebody killing each other in every day, it's very bad. I wanted to focus on issue security. Make sure these bandits, whatever they call their name, they want it in Nigeria here. We don't want to see them. We don't want them to communicate with any of them. Because Nigeria is a place you see like how many years ago it's a peaceful country. They never know it's a terrorist country. They never is anything harm. But now, after 2010 to now, we're suffering security in Nigeria. And Buhari have come and gone. It's going to solve the problem.
Imagine me selling under the sun, waking up 2 o'clock, sleeping by 11. Then I start saving money. Then government from nowhere will just take out of it. So it's not really nice. I just want them to make things easy. Number one, the light. I think the light is the source of our business. The light, the school, the hospital, just make things, the foodstuffs to be easy. But I believe if everything is easy, nobody will disturb the government.
The government should provide employment for the youths. We have thousands of youths. Likewise, me, I'm a graduate, like thousands of youths in this country. We don't have a tangible thing we are doing. We are just surviving in the sense, we are just surviving. But other places is not like that. Other countries is not like that. We just want the government to provide a good governance to the whole people of Nigeria.
2026, I want government, to increase in more of security, because Nigeria is not good. Especially like me, I didn't travel because I'm scared. Do you understand? Because of what is going on. So I want government to facilitate more effort to stop all this killing in Nigeria, and also to provide job for the youth. Me also, I'm a graduate, but we are surviving by, inside market, we are there hustling. So I want government to provide for the youth and also make more employment and security.
As Nigerians spell out their 2026 agenda, the message is simple. People want results that can fit in their homes and businesses. No slogans, no excuses. How government response may decide what little trust remains. Noel Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Away from that, President Bola Tinubu has approved a debarment policy to sanction contractors who execute substandard work or abandoned projects. Director General of the Bureau of Public Procurement, BPP, Adebowale Adedokun, revealed this in an interview in Abuja. He emphasized that while erring contractors will face penalties, those delivering quality work will be rewarded, citing ongoing infrastructure projects as an example of improved standards. Looking ahead, Adedokun said the BPP will strengthen support for local content and vulnerable groups in line with Tinubu's renewed hope agenda. He also highlighted that the agency saved the federal government about 1.1 trillion naira in a year by blocking inflated contract sums and enforcing tighter scrutiny for public projects. Adedokun explained that his priority upon assuming office just over a year ago was to transform procurement from a perceived bottleneck and potential conduit for corruption into a transparent enabler of value for money. Now, the Kano State Executive Committee of the New Nigeria's People's Party, NNPP, has endorsed the appointment of Abdullahi Zubairu Abia as the party's chairman in the state. The decision was reached at an emergency meeting held at the party's secretariat in Kano, announcing the development. The party's assistant legal advisor, Yusuf Mukhtar, said the endorsement was in line with the provisions of the NNPP constitution. Mukhtar explains that the move followed the submission of a formal resolution by the Dawakin Tofa Local Government Executive Committee, which recommended the sack of the former chairman, Hashimu Dungurawa, over alleged anti-party activities. In his acceptance remark, Abia pledged to uphold justice within the party, maintain loyalty to the NNPP's national leader, Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, and support the administration of Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf in Kano State. However, Dungurawa has rejected the decision, insisting that he remains the bona fide chairman of the party in the state. He described his alleged expulsion as null, void, and of no effect. This is the news hour on Trust TV. Coming up after the break. Kano commuters frustrated as motor park operators raise prices ahead of the new year. More news when we return. To stay with us. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is the news hour on Trust TV. Now let's take a recap of our major stories again. 18 killed, 2 critically injured in Jigawa fatal accident. President Tinubu insists new tax laws to take effect on January 1st, 2026. Now moving on to more stories. In Kano State, transport fares remained relatively stable over the Christmas period. But the rush to travel for the new year has sparked a sharp increase that commuters describe as unfair and unexplained. The surge in fares has left many travelers stranded and frustrated as operators adjust prices amid the last-minute rush. Trust TV's Abdulaziz Ibrahim reports.
While livestock and transport prices remained largely stable in weeks leading up to Christmas, the situation has changed dramatically in Kano State. With only hours to the new year, major motor parks across the city are seeing surge in passenger movements as travelers rush to leave Kano. Many who skipped Christmas journeys are now traveling for the new year, a trend transporters are taking advantage of. Operators say the fare hike is due to uneven passenger flow, with more people leaving the state than returning. Some raise their prices to 65 or 70,000 naira, but we try to avoid that and fix ours at about 50,000 naira. Many people are traveling from here to other parts of the country, but not many are coming back, so the prices went up a bit. At the Ungwa Uku Motor Park, transport operators say they gain little from the rush as passenger movement has shifted away from traditional parks, largely due to poor infrastructure. Passengers avoid old parks like this due to the poor infrastructure. From my travels, I've seen motor parks that have better infrastructure, unlike ours, despite the different kind of levies and taxes that we pay here. So the registered roadside operators mainly profit from the current rush. Commuters, however, say the surge is unfair. The price has almost doubled, and only God knows why.
Yes, what we are experiencing is that the transportation is too high. The transportation is too high. They're supposed to reduce, the whole company is supposed to reduce the price. So, but they didn't reduce the price. And where we are going, we still have some other expenses to do. But they didn't reduce the prices. So it's as high side.
The New Year travel rush has once again exposed the fragile balance between demand, supply and cost in Nigeria's transport sector. Abdulaziz Ibrahim, Trust TV News, Kano.
The Katsina State Command of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, has arrested 8 suspects in connection with attack on its outpost at Kuramaneli in Katsina Metropolis. The public relations officer of the command, SC Buhari Hamisu, confirmed the arrest on Tuesday. He said the incident followed a protest by suspected miscreants over a recent raid that led to the death of a suspected drug peddler identified as Uzairu, popularly known as Lonkuda. Hamisu explained that the suspect, armed with dangerous weapons, attacked the NSCDC outpost and also moved to nearby NSCDC and police post at Feeling, Canada. He said the state commandant, Abbas Muriki, has ordered a thorough investigation into the incident and warned criminals and economic saboteurs to desist from illegal activities or face the full weight of the law. Meanwhile, the NSCDC has deployed over 55,000 operatives nationwide to enhance security during the Yuletide season. The Commandant General of the Corps, Ahmed Abubakar Audi, said the deployment is aimed at protecting critical national assets and infrastructure, as well as ensuring the safety of citizens during the Christmas and New Year celebrations. In a similar event, the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, Kano State Command, has confirmed a violent mob attack on its outpost in Damaji, Dawakin Kudu, local government area of the state. The incident resulted in the extrajudicial killing of 3 suspects and the burning of the facility. It occurred about 12 a.m. after a similar attack on an NSCDC outpost in neighboring Katsina State, which also led to 3 deaths. The Kano NSCDC spokesperson, Ibrahim Abdullahi, disclosed this in a statement in Kano. According to Abdullahi, the crisis began at about 10:30 p.m. on Sunday when residents of the Nsango community brought 3 unidentified individuals alleged to be motorcycle thieves to the Damaji outpost. He said the suspects were apprehended at a location notorious for motorcycle robberies. However, before any official investigation could commence, a large crowd from surrounding communities, including Nsango, Madinawa, Gagarawa, Limawa, Nkatsari, Damaji and Grejia converged on the outpost. The mob reportedly demanded that the officers hand over the suspect for what they described as jungle justice. While officers on duty managed to escape the burning building, 3 NSCDC personnel sustained various injuries during the attack and are currently receiving medical treatment. Now, the Jigawa State Governor, Umar Namadi, has hosted teachers from Sangaya or Almajiri schools across the state in an interactive engagement aimed at reviewing achievements under his administration, particularly in integrating Quranic education with Western education. The report.
The event, organized by the Ministry of Basic Education in collaboration with the Jigawa State Sangaya Board, provided a platform for dialogue on strengthening the reformed Sangaya system to ensure quality learning and sustainable outcome for children. Governor Namadi, addressing the gathering, said his administration remains committed to transforming the traditional Almajiri system by combining religious and Western education to equip pupils with moral, religious, and moral skills needed to thrive in society. He highlighted the establishment of the Jigawa State Sangaya Board as a major milestone, the first of its kind in the state, set up to coordinate, regulate, and support Sangaya schools, ensuring that Almajiri children are integrated into a structured educational framework. The governor emphasized that education is the top priority of his administration, with reforms aimed at reducing out-of-school children, discouraging street begging, and promoting dignity, self-reliance, and social responsibility among pupils.
In Jigawa, we have about 4,000 Sangaya schools with an enrollment of about 1,300,000 students. So well, this is an important segment, and that's why we decided to have an engagement with all the Aramas. Today we have more than 500 Aramas that have attended this engagement. The essence of this engagement is to discuss with them and see how we can be able to bring all these guys under one roof so that they will have to learn the Quran, to learn the numeracy and literacy, as well as to have some skills. So this is exactly what we are doing in Jigawa State.
Earlier, the Commissioner for Basic Education, Malam Lawal Yunus at Anzomo, said the engagement was aimed at assessing progress and gathering practical suggestions from teachers on improving the system. He reaffirmed the ministry's commitment to support, including teacher training, curriculum development, and learning materials.
We consider Sangaya schools very important. That is why this administration established a board to ensure they receive the attention they need. We also hope this initiative will guide us all towards success and prosperity.
The Executive Secretary of the Jigawa State Sangaya Board, Dr. Abubakar Maji Hamisu, also spoke, highlighting the board's achievement since its establishment, including improved coordination, data collection, and gradual integration of Western education subjects into Sangaya schools.
We are doing a mega plan in order to ensure that Almajirai, regardless of their age, regardless of their background, we are given an opportunity equal to everyone. That is why now we are, the government is, providing a huge investment like the issue of 3 mega Sangaya schools, whereby more than 4,000 students will be enrolled, paid, and provided with everything possible.
Executive Secretary Sangaya's Schools Board, during the interactive session, teachers shared recommendation on enhancing efficiency, including better welfare for teachers, improved structure, continuous training, and stronger community involvement. The engagement concluded with a collective commitment by government officials and stakeholders to further strengthen the reform Sangaya education system for the benefit of Almajiri children across Jigawa State.
Adamawa State Governor Ahmadu Fintiri has called on leaders at all levels to approach leadership with commitment, resilience, and humility, describing it as a sacred trust that must deliver tangible benefits to the people. The charge was given at an award ceremony held in honor of the Executive Secretary of the Petroleum Technology Development Fund, PTDF, in Yola. Trust TV's Gibson Suadigo reports.
The Government House banquet hall in Yola was filled to capacity as dignitaries from across the country gathered to celebrate excellence in public service. Traditional rulers, captains of industry, politicians, academics, and other well-wishers converged for the award ceremony held in honor of the Executive Secretary of the Petroleum Technology Development Fund. For Governor Ahmadu Murfintri, the occasion was more than a celebration. It was an opportunity to reflect on true meaning of leadership. The governor urged leaders to continually examine their conscience, stressing that leadership is a responsibility to serve the people, not an avenue for personal gain.
I know Tijani about 6 years. Even before I knew him face to face, I've already accustomed myself to him because of his achievement.
In his acceptance speech, the award recipient, Ahmed Galadima Aminu, expressed gratitude for the recognition, describing it as both humbling and motivating. He said the honor comes with a renewed commitment to deepen investment in human capital development, particularly in the oil and gas sector and education.
First and foremost, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to the leadership and esteemed members of the PSNF for deeming me worthy of this prestigious honor. To be recognized by this esteemed organization is not only a privilege, but a truly historic moment, and I assure you, I do not take it for granted.
Goodwill messages followed from captains of industry, political leaders, members of the academia, and the Lamido Adamawa, all commending the awardees' dedication to service and the leadership style of Governor Ahmadu Murfintri. Gibson Soadago, Trust TV News, Yola.
An explosion early Tuesday morning rocked the General Hospital in Bagadu, Kebbi State, causing panic among residents and hospital staff. The secretary to the Kebbi State government, Yakubu Tafida, dismissed claims of terrorism, explaining that the explosion resulted from a fire accident involving a gas cylinder. He assured the public that there was no security threat. The Kebbi State Police Command confirmed the incident, noting that no casualties were recorded. However, a building within the hospital staff quarters sustained damage. Police, military and vigilante personnel quickly cordoned off the area, while explosive ordnance disposal EOD teams were deployed to assess the scene and ensure safety.
On behalf of the government and people of Kebbi State, I wish to officially make a clarification in respect of a reported bomb blast in Bagado local government, specifically the hospital. I want to specially state that the incident indeed took place, but not a bomb blast, but rather a fire outbreak that took place in a house located within the premises of the hospital. The properties of the occupant were all gutted by fire, inclusive of a gas cylinder which exploded then. And a report made by the police insinuating bomb blast was indeed not true, because a recent intelligence report provided jointly by the police and the DSS indicated that there was no bomb blast, but rather an explosion of the gas cylinder in the house.
In business, the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has projected that Nigeria's public debt will rise to 34.68% of gross domestic product, GDP, by the end of 2026. The increase reflects anticipated new borrowings to fund government fiscal operations, even as the CBN emphasized the need for strict adherence to fiscal rules to ensure debt sustainability. The forecast is contained in the bank's macroeconomic outlook for Nigeria 2026, titled Consolidating Macroeconomic Stability Amid Global Uncertainty. Released on Tuesday, The report shows a slight increase from 33.98% of GDP at the end of June 2025, signaling a growing fiscal deficit despite improvements in fiscal space driven by policy reforms, stable crude oil prices, and increased domestic oil production. The report estimates that the federal government's retained revenue for 2026 will be 35.51 trillion naira, while expenditure is projected at 47.64 trillion naira, resulting in a provisional fiscal deficit of 12.14 trillion naira, or 3.01% of GDP. CBN stressed that the positive fiscal outlook relies on sustained growth in non-oil revenue, continued implementation of the Nigeria Tax Act 2025, and other reforms to strengthen revenue mobilization. However, the Apex Bank warned that a rising debt profile could threaten macroeconomic stability if fiscal discipline weakens. Away from Nigeria, Guinea's junta chief, Mamadi Doumbouya, who had pledged not to run for office after seizing power 4 years ago, has taken a commanding lead in the presidential election held at the weekend. According to initial results released late Monday, Doumbouya, 4-1, faced 8 challengers in the race, but key opposition leaders were barred from contesting and had called for a boycott of the election. In seeking office, the general reneged on his earlier promise not to run and to return the mineral-rich but impoverished West African nation to civilian rule by the end of 2024. Official partial results read on state broadcaster RTG by the head of the General Directorate of Elections, Jenabo Torre, show Doumbouya leading decisively in districts of the capital, Conakry, often polling more than 80% of the vote. He recorded similar margins in several other areas, including Koya near Conakry, as well as Bofa and Freya in west, Goal in the northwest, Kundara and Labe in the north, and Inzerekore in the southeast. However, a citizens' movement advocating a return to civilian rule has questioned the credibility of the figures. For sport update, let's join Kabir Lawal.
Nigeria nodded off their Group C campaign in style with 3-1 victory over 10-man Uganda in first, finishing the group with maximum points. Paul Onachu gave the Super Eagles the lead just before the half mark, finishing from close range after sustained pressure from Nigeria. The advantage was compounded in the second half when Uganda were reduced to 10 men following the dismissal of substitute goalkeeper Jamal Salim for handling the ball outside his penalty area. Raphael Oyedinka then took advantage stage, scoring twice in the space of 4 minutes to stretch Nigeria's lead and put the contest beyond doubt. Despite their numerical disadvantage, Uganda found a consolation goal through Rogers Matu, who finished calmly to reduce the deficit. Nigeria, however, remained firmly in the control and saw out the game with ease. The victory confirmed Nigeria as Group C winners with a perfect record, boosting confidence ahead of the knockout stages. That's Sport News. I am Kabir Lawal.
And with that, we have come to the end of the news hour on Trust TV. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms and also join our YouTube live stream for more news. I am Mariam Idris. Thank you for watching.